Good evening and welcome to our show, Going Public. I'm Renee Bosica, and joining us tonight are Andy Messina and Nicole Melanson, two Terrebonne Parish School District choir directors. And also joining us tonight is Mr. Anthony Joseph and Tyler Wiggins, two area high school band directors from our local high schools. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight and taking time out of your busy schedules. First up with us, we have Mr. Andy Messina from Terrebonne High School.
Awesome.
How does it feel to be a choir director, and why did you become the choir director?
It's a very fulfilling job, at least most of the time. I guess my whole purpose for being a choir director is to help my students become better human beings through studying music. So, yes, I am a music teacher, but it isn't all about music, and it kind of ties back to how I got into music. I started studying music whenever I was 12. I took guitar lessons, enjoyed it, and then I had a friend talk me into getting in the choir my junior year of high school. So I was kind of late to the singing thing. Met my choir director. She was excellent. She pushed me to do things I never thought I'd do. And I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I wanted to be better, and I did everything to be better. I traded detailing her vehicle for private voice lessons. I did whatever I could to get better. And but at that point, I was not planning on being a choir director. At that time, I was actually running my own business. I was doing lawn and landscape work, and I said that's what I wanted to do. And I was actually majoring in horticulture. And then, I don't know, I guess a whole bunch of events steered me towards majoring in music, and everything just fell in place. And I started at Terrebonne in the spring of 2007. And I've been there ever since.
You've been there ever since. So music education, has that been your only your experience at Terrebonne High School?
That is my only job I've had, so a little over 15 years at this point.
And what life skills do your students learn by being a part of your music program?
Quite a few. In order to successfully be in the program, you got to have some discipline. You got to have some determination, right? Some perseverance, because it isn't always easy. I mean, our job is to challenge our students, and you got to push, and they don't always like to be pushed. So they have to persevere and take that challenging situation and make something of it. They have to learn to work with people that they may not necessarily like, because we get our classroom full of people, and one way or another, we're all going to work together for a common goal, and that common goal happens whenever we get on stage. And I like linking all of this stuff to life after high school. They're going to be in a workplace. They may have that boss they're not a big fan of. They may have that coworker that just wrecks their nerves. But they have to go to work every day, and they got to make a living. They got to make a good living. And I want them to hold their head up high whenever they go and get their paycheck, because they did the best job possible.
And your students, what type of performance opportunities do they have?
Well, chronologically through the school year, I know in my program the first thing we work towards is different auditions. So our students have an opportunity to participate in LMEA, which stands for Louisiana Music Educators Association All-State Choirs. They have an opportunity to participate in District 7 honor choirs. And we work towards that. I require most of my students to at least audition for those things. Sometimes my students aren't very happy with me for that, but I like it when a student who wouldn't have auditioned unless I required them to, does it, makes it, goes to the event, and they're like, oh, Mr. Messina, I'm so glad you made me do that, you know. And then they come back, they work harder in class, they help their students to work harder, and it's just a good situation the whole way around. When we have Veterans Day programs, we perform for those. Usually if we're going to get invited to perform in the community, it'll usually be in the fall. We have a Christmas concert. Spring, our first priority is festival, all right, our big competition, which usually happens in March of every school year. Then we move towards our spring concert, which in our case, we have our spring concert this upcoming Tuesday, May 17th. And our concert is actually it's a joint concert with Nicole and the HL group. So they had some issues earlier in the school year with their facilities due to the storm. And I said, hey, come perform with us at Terrebonne. And we kind of liked it, so we're going to do it again.
So what kinds of opportunities do your students have as far as scholarships?
Many students, they don't realize it, but many colleges offer service awards just for being in choir. So that goes for a student that wants to be a music major or a student that wants to major in something else and they just want to keep singing. Once they realize how much books cost, that extra $100 or $200 you get may buy a book or two. So that can happen at a minimum all the way up to, which in this case, my example is one of my private voice students. I do teach a few private lessons outside of school. I have a private student right now that will be going to ULL, and he has his housing paid for, plus some money, and he is going to be a criminal justice major. He's just going to be a member of 2 of the choirs at ULL, and but he works his butt off.
Sounds very rewarding.
Yes.
Right quick, is there anything else that you would like us to know about the Houma Junior High or Terrebonne vocal music programs?
Maybe not so much the program per se, but if you have that child in your family, whether it's your son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, nephew, whatever, and they come home and they're like, hey, a choir director from the high school, the junior high came visit my elementary school, or hey, the choir's doing some good stuff, I'm thinking about doing that, or band for that sake. Tell them to give it a shot, all right? They may not realize at first the different opportunities that may lead to. Have them give it a shot. It may not be their thing, and that's okay, but if it is their thing, there's lots of rewards that can come from it.
Well, thank you. Also joining us tonight is Nicole Melanson, the choir director from HL Bourgeois. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How long have you been in music education?
This is currently my 21st year in education. I first began teaching Lafourche Parish at Thibodeau High School, and then moved into Terrebonne Parish, began teaching at South Terrebonne High School, my alma mater, where I first learned to love choral music under the direction of my choir director, and then this is my 10th year at HL Bourgeois.
And have you always been in the musical background, or have you made changes throughout your career?
Since my junior year in high school, I knew music was it. My family was very musical. We were all singers, and that is kind of how we passed time. We would sing together. My mom would kind of teach us harmonies to old standards, singing stuff like Sentimental Journey, Chattanooga Choo Choo, and just always sang. I think I sang my first song when I was 3. I think I sang before I spoke actual words. And so that continued throughout elementary, middle school, and we didn't have programs when I was a kid. We may have had a couple of teachers come in and teach us some pop songs for entertainment. And when I stepped into my sophomore year of high school, and we had a brand new choir director, Howard Nixon, and that one year just he blew me away, and he inspired me to I was like, I want to do what he does. Of course, I'm nowhere near as amazing as Howard Nixon. I just am so inspired and amazed that, every day I get to help inspire other kids and sing every day with them.
And what can your students expect to learn in choir?
My children can expect, and I focus on so much music literacy. That, with my programs, my kids don't have any sort of music education prior to ninth grade. So whatever they receive by the time they graduate HL, I've taught them. And it is a wonderful thing to watch these kids grow year after year and become just very capable and confident musicians, able to read music, able to communicate using their voice in just a confident and secure manner. Because majority of them, they come in, and you have to admit, singing is probably one of the most personal things that a person can do, and they don't want to share that, and they're very timid and shy. So when they actually just kind of really blossom and grow and feel more confident and secure, I love seeing that from every child from ninth grade into 12th.
What would you like to see in the future for our music programs in Terrebonne Parish?
Well, we have a new superintendent in our parish, and he had wonderful things to say for our future, and I was really excited. So I would like to see all music programs start from elementary on up. We have that happening in our neighboring parishes, and I believe that there is just a wonderful connection between music education and our students who are doing such amazing jobs on tests. We have so many students at HL Bourgeois that just seem to succeed both on stage, in performance, and in the classroom, as well as our LEAP test at the end of the year. That, it is hard to ignore that connection. And I believe that every child within our district should have access to wonderful, viable music education programs.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming. Also joining us tonight is Mr. Anthony Joseph from Ellender High School. Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you.
I know that you are at Ellender High School. How long have you been in music education?
This is my 17th year, and I've spent my entire time at Ellender, and it's been a wonderful experience. It's been my job, and I love those kids, and we do, I think, a pretty good job at Ellender.
And I know this year you guys have faced some challenges having to share a school. How have your students handled the current situation, and how is it sharing a school with Terrebonne High School?
Well, they've handled it well. Of course, it was a shock in the beginning, and when Ellender was hit really hard, we lost our home, and that did affect the kids. And when we found out that we were going to be platooning at Terrebonne, they came in strong. A little nervous. We didn't know what to expect. I've known Terrebonne's band directors, Mr. Vaughn Luquette and Dustin Jones, for a while, and we actually spoke before, and I knew it was going to be okay. They have been very welcoming. Our kids have adjusted really well. They have adapted well, and we were able to really do some of the things that we normally do, even in the unique situation. We lost, obviously, all of our uniforms and pretty much all of our instruments, and through Terrebonne and other schools helping us out, we were able to do some of the things that we've normally done. The first day was awesome. When we walked in, they had a big sign that was made, and it said, "Welcome home." And there's a quote on there that says, when worlds fail, music doesn't. And that made everybody feel right at home. And the whole Terrebonne band and their parents, they signed the sign for us, and we still look at that sign today. So it's been a good experience, and we're thankful to Terrebonne High for everything they've done for us.
No, that is very sweet, and that is very, accepting that all of our schools are collaborating and working together.
Absolutely.
What performance highlights did Ellender have in the spring? I know, the fall was a little different.
Yeah.
How about the spring? Have you been able to move forward with your program?
Absolutely. We were able to, first we were able to participate in Mardi Gras. Even though we lost our band uniforms and a lot of our instruments, thanks to a lot of help, we were able to actually participate in Mardi Gras. And we had a great time. It was almost like a release of, I guess we'll say, tension, to have fun. The kids did great. We were very pleased. The ancient mystic crew of Tootsie Roll, and I love that name. I just love saying it. We were crowned their grand champions for the second time, both that and the People's Choice, which was an honor. The kids really, when that award came out in Mardi Gras of 2020, before COVID, we won it then too. And so when we were able to come back, the kids made it a point to try to just do their best to compete with that. And we were named champions again. That was a big plus for our program. It gave them a lot of confidence. And then after that, we were able to attend Concert Band Festival. We attended both the LMEA Festival and the Bayouland Festival, and we did very well at both of them. We got all superior and excellent ratings on stage and in sight reading. And we had 6 judges view us at both festivals, and we got 4 superiors and 2 excellents. So they were really proud of themselves. It was tough. The 36-minute class period, we made it work. It's a shorter time for band, but we were able to make it work, and they were really proud of themselves, and I was proud of them. So we did our best.
Well, we do have a short clip to share with some of the performances that you just spoke of. Mr. Joseph, would you like to highlight some of those that have helped Ellender's band along the way since the storm has taken place?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of help. This has been a true effort. First, we couldn't have done it without the backing of our administration. Mr. Dillard, Dr. Grant, and Ms. Price have just been so super supportive. But it goes further than that. Terrebonne's administration has also been supportive in allowing us to do things on campus. And because it's in the same space, Homer Junior High's administration and band program have also been very great to us. We had to borrow instruments. And so we had instruments from Terrebonne's band, Mr. Luquette and Mr. Jones. We borrowed instruments from Vanderbilt Catholic and Mr. Adams over there. That video we just showed was Concert Festival. We could not have done that without instruments from Vanderbilt Catholic. For Mardi Gras, we borrowed the entire drum line from Nicholls State. Nicholls had a second drum line that they were not using, so Dr. Robichaud and Dr. Miranda let us borrow those instruments, so we were able to actually have fun in the Mardi Gras parades. Even Assumption High School Band, they held a fundraiser and gave us a donation. So we've had a lot of help, and we're just appreciative to everybody.
Well, it does. It sounds amazing how the community did come together for you guys. I want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Also with us is Mr. Tyler Wiggins from HL Bourgeois. Thank you, Mr. Tyler, for coming on.
Thank you.
I know at HL you guys have also faced some challenges due to Hurricane Ida. How has your band program adapted to these changes?
So the hurricane actually didn't mess with the building itself so much, but we had some outdoor facilities we set up over the past few years that kind of got tossed and turned. And the big part of it was our band trailers. So when it comes time for marching competitions, no matter how much practice we do and preparation, if we can't get there, we really can't perform. So we actually had a whole roof of a trailer ripped off. We had a carport that went through another trailer. And we kind of just patched it up and made it work to get the kids rolling. They were eager to get back into the thick of things, to get back to playing and preparing for marching band. And we actually finished our marching season with 2 competitions and a band performance we were able to hold at our school. So we really just kind of rolled our sleeves up, got done what needed to get done to make sure that we can still keep banding. So it's been a little tough road, but it's been a nice adjustment and a lesson on problem solving.
And what are some of the ensembles that HL Bourgeois is able to participate in?
So as of right now, we have our marching band, the Marching Sensation from the Brave Reservation, our symphonic band, our concert band. We have a junior varsity and varsity winter guard, 2 percussion ensembles, and our jazz band. And actually the video here is our marching band during summer at band camp before the hurricane hit. And it's actually filmed by Mr. Charles Whitten, who's a local photographer. this is the most visual part that our school does as marching band. They see us at football games, they see us on the parade route, and the kids just truly enjoy marching band. Actually, this is a shot here. Our shipping container that was on the side was actually moved a good 40 feet from where it was from the storm, which was impressive with how heavy it is. It's just a true mite of how strong that storm was.
And I know we were able to see some of what the band does. What other events does HL have coming up in the future?
So in the future, we plan on going back to our normal marching competition schedule. It's about 6 competitions between Mississippi and Louisiana. We travel as far north as Natchitoches, as far west as Lake Charles. We go to Biloxi, Lafayette. We're trying to go to Hammond this year. We try to have at least 2 concerts a year for the concert band, symphonic band. Our jazz band has 2 concerts a year. Our Winter Guard competes about 5 competitions a year. Our percussion ensemble this year performed for the first time outside of school. So we just try to get them in front of people after all the time they spent learning music and mastering their craft. So we're hoping to get back to that, get back to our normal year, and especially the marching band side where the kids really shine and represent the school well in a very public setting.
Well, it looks like our time is up. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Also, I want to commend you all on a job well done. You all have adapted through the changes and through IDA, and you could clearly tell by your program's flexibilities and the things that you've had to go through to get to this point. So I want to thank you. And I would like to thank you, our viewers, for watching. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday on Going Public. Good night.